Got this boiler as a project, central boiler 5648, I believe. It's 380 some gallons. It had the door busted up pretty bad on it. Trying to fix it, plating it and welding it and trying to bring it back to some kind of structure. And it got pretty hot and cracked it pretty bad. The seal's still pretty straight around the opening, so it seemed to lock on pretty good. But the guy that had this bought it with the intent of fixing it, and then he ended up putting a whole new water jacket on the thing. And then in the middle of building his house and everything going on in life, he just ended up buying another one and set this off to the side and never ended up finishing it. But hell, it's got a whole brand new water jacket put on it. It's got all new bungs and different style frame put around it, but that's fine. The door's not the best shape like I was saying, but I've been plating it. I'll flip it over and show that plate. I built out into that opening because where those two cracks come together, it was pulled back and had a big old opening right there. So when I plated it, I built out into here to give it some structure to hold it together. You can see there I've got it plated. Built down in. Reduce that opening a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. It'll still get pretty decent air to the fire. It'll just probably need to stay open a tad bit longer, but it should work out. Broke those over the edges and then bolted it on, and I'm gonna weld bolts up off of these pointing out this way so I can bolt a heat shield on here. They sell a heat shield that hangs on that, but I'm gonna make one out of stainless so I can put some ceramic insulation behind it and try to keep some of the heat from penetrating it. But it's held together pretty good. Working on a new door. This one's not going to work out the way I had to weld it up, so it's going to have to be redesigned on the hinges. That thing's pretty pitted and shitty anyway, so I'll have to file that thing down pretty good on the other side and try to get it flat. I have to work on it for a while to get it back to a flat plane. This thing's pretty decent inside. You see all the baffles up there. You can probably see some of them welds where they were working on it right there. It was leaking right in them corners. They did that same thing in the back air up that flue wall right there. Picking back up on this thing. It's probably about 4 or 5 days since I was filming that door. I haven't put the shield on it yet. I still need to do that. Cut off that door and started working on this wiring because I'm trying to figure out all the things I need. Probes, and I didn't have the dry well for the probe, which these two bungs should have been up inside of here when he put them in, but it's not a big deal. There's supposed to be a dry well in one of these. I can't get this plug out. I think he had the plug in when he welded the bung in. I think it's got weld on it, but that's fine. I just need this one right here to put the dry well in for the probe. Got the wiring all sorted back out on it. Pretty simple. Goes down to that door. He had cut all that when he took this thing apart to rebuild it, so I had to replace all that. There's that new door I built. It's working. 52 degrees out. Lights work on it. I gotta get a new light for that set of wires. I didn't get that with the deal when I got it, so I just threw it away. This is, it's all done. It's ready to go. I didn't put the central boiler controller in that thing. I just bought the one from Love. A lot cheaper. It's about more than half the cost. That and the probe. So I've been messing with it, getting it set up, setting the set points and the high and low and the hysteresis on it. And I've got it pretty dialed in. Once I start boiling water with it, I'll readjust it a little bit, but I'll just heat this plate up right here with the torch. And I've got the thermistor inside that tube right there. It's stuck in there a little bit. It's got a coating on it. It works pretty good. Can't wait to keep going on it. Get some water in it. I'm waiting on the stack right now. I ordered that from woodboiler.com. I'm waiting on it to come. And then had to wait on the control and the probe. Still waiting on the well, wood boiler. So lots of things I didn't get with it that I needed. I didn't know, so I'm working it out as I go. But it'll come along soon. I'm supposed to get a warm spell at the end of December. I'll take it out and throw some water in it and do a boil on it. Once I get the stack and everything set up, and I'll do one boil and make sure it's all going to function. No leaks and all that. And then I'll start insulating it. I'm going to build a pad out there on the corner of the barn. I've got a Connex out there, and I'm going to, it's raining out right now. I'm going to set it right in between that Connex and the barn. Throw a roof over it. That way I can have some dry wood in there and a dry place to load it. But get the tubes and all that shit and set this thing and dig the tubes into the ground. Get her fired up. I might be using it this year.